All right, we've been watching a news conference by Governor Greg Abbott about the widespread outages across the state. A lot to unpack here. One of the big notes, a bit of positive news. The governor has said that in the last 12 hours or so, about 6,000 megawatts to an additional 1.2 million households. So very, very good news there.
Yeah, certainly. And before we continue this conversation, we do want to welcome our KPRC2 News at 4 viewers. We also want to welcome anchor Kris Gutierrez, also watching Governor Greg Abbott speak about the update on this winter blast. And obviously, we're talking about the numbers and the number of folks still without power this hour.
Yeah, and I think, like Keith said, there's a lot to unpack here. Yeah. And while Keith mentioned the number of households that have been brought back online, one thing that I'm looking at here is just the local numbers. And as of 4 o'clock, CenterPoint is reporting that 53.4% of its customers, and again, CenterPoint is the largest provider of power in the greater Houston area. They start up in the Woodlands, they go down to Freeport, all the way out west to Sealy, and then east to Anahuac. And of those customers, and you're looking at the map here of the outage area in that area, there are still 1.1 million CenterPoint customers without power. And so I think as we just kind of continue this conversation, we should maybe try to hone in on not only how we got here, but where we go from here. And one of the things, guys, that I've been looking at is really trying to understand better ERCOT and how it is that they manage, what's going on with our power grid, because they have full control of the Texas power grid. And I was looking at the numbers, it's 90% of the state is reliant upon ERCOT. And you guys break in, because I know we're waiting on a news conference from Judge Hidalgo. So I want to put that out there. Correct,
yes, yeah, we were waiting.
Yeah.
And so started at 4:30, so yep. We're waiting, yeah.
And so if that happens, let me know. But I do want to kind of get back to this ERCOT and how it works. So I like to use analogies. And again, ERCOT manages our state's power grid. So if you look at Bush Airport, for example, Bush Airport doesn't own airplanes, right? United does, Delta does, American Airlines does. But what Bush Airport does do is they employ the air traffic controllers that get those airplanes in and out of our city. Right? So if you take that analogy and you think of, well, what does ERCOT do? Well, they rely on power generators to produce the power that they send on to companies like CenterPoint that goes into our homes. So to me, the question has become, where did the failure start that led to the generators and the equipment not working? Obviously, this is a winter weather event unlike we have seen in many, many years. The governor pointed out back in February of 2011, there was a power issue because, again, the generators weren't able to operate properly. Back then, they did come up with this best practices routine of things that they can do to make sure they're better prepared next time. The problem is, it's not mandatory and it's not regulated. So here we are now in 2021, the 4th largest city in the country, and we have more than 1.1 million customers without power. So when you think about big picture here, guys, I think the question becomes, what are the people, and I haven't heard any of them by name, the people who are producing, the ones that are generating the power, who are they and what did they do leading up to this winter storm to prepare for what we have now?
That's right.
That's the question.
Yeah, and there are over 600 of those generators that actually operate in Texas. So the question is, who are the ones who were ready and which ones were not?
Of those 600, 100 of them, according to ERCOT, they do voluntary. ERCOT voluntarily conducts spot checks for 100 of our state's 600, again, generators, the people who are producing the power that comes into our homes. So I think that's and we can use this. Here's another analogy for you. And again, let me know if Hidalgo comes on. If you go grocery shopping and you need bread, you're going to go to HEB, you're going to go to Kroger, wherever it is to get your bread, right? And the question becomes, well, HEB makes its own bread, but there are stores that rely upon Mrs. Baird's, right? Mrs. Baird's makes their own bread, Nature's Own, whatever company it is that you want, right? You're relying on those companies to produce the bread to get it out to our grocery stores. If you show up to your grocery store and they don't have bread, is it the grocery store's fault? Or is it the people who are producing that bread that they didn't think enough ahead to produce enough bread to make sure that we have it for our families?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Good, great analogy.
And so again, I get where the frustration is with ERCOT. I totally get it. I mean, you heard the governor say that he's going to hold them accountable. There will be legislative hearings to figure out what's going on. There's been a lot made of the board of directors of ERCOT. You know, the chairwoman doesn't live in the state of Texas. I think the vice president doesn't live in our state. Like, there's been a lot made of what's going on and how, you know, perhaps maybe they can operate differently, right? But again, time will tell. I just know that, you know, where did you sleep last night, Keith?
I slept upstairs in an office,
here,
yes.
Because you don't have power at your house.
Right.
Christine, do you have power at your house?
Nope, it's been 3 days. 3 days of cold, so slept at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I want our viewers to just understand that we're in this with you.
Yeah.
We get it. We're going through it as well. I mean, we lost water here at the station.
Indeed,
Yeah.
yep.
Right? When's the last time we lost
too?
water at this TV station?
We're really getting to know each other pretty well.
We sure are. So, again, just know that we're staying on top of it, and we're going to find you answers, because that's what you deserve.
If I could.
Absolutely, Frank.
2011,
Yeah,
when
Frank's
we had this February spell of very cold weather. The first 2 weeks of February, in fact, we did. Freezing nights every night. And then people will recall in 2011, we had that drought the same year.
There you go.
The drought of 2011, where all summer long we were at 100 degrees or better the whole summer.
Right.
Couldn't get
Consecutive
an
days.
inch of rain in here.
Right.
And the point is, people say, well, this only happens once every 100 years. Okay, but you know what? With climate change, the reason this has happened is because the polar vortex weakened because of a surge of warm air. And consequently, the cold air spilled into the United States. Now, that's a phenomenon. But what we are seeing more and more, 31 storms last season. The extremes. So I don't want people to say, well, gosh, this hasn't happened in 100 years or maybe once every 10 years, because with the climate change that we are seeing, extremes, whether it's too cold or too hot, are going to continue. And the demand on electricity is going to continue to be a problem. So you're right. We got to get to the bottom of it, because the weather's not going to say, oh, well, I'll see you in 30 years and I'll make it cold again. It could be, you know,
It could be next week. I mean, it's Texas.
We were at 17 just 3 years ago.
Right.
So it's not like we don't have these cold snaps, and then we get these very hot days. So something's got to be done.
I agree with you, Frank.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
We need some answers, that's for sure, because a lot of folks are...
And we're digging. I mean, trust me, I think that's the frustration that we all have.
Oh, without a doubt.
Because we all want the answers, because we're all being impacted. You know, even if you're watching this right now, you have power. Right? What, your device,
Or
whatever
from
it
Click
is.
too. I mean, you could be bundled up watching on our website too. But
the reality is somehow you're keeping that thing, you know, powered up, and you have power. The reality is that you have loved ones, you have friends, you have coworkers who are in the dark, right?
Yeah.
And they're huddled around their fireplace. Some people, for goodness sake, they're bringing barbecue grills inside their homes to stay warm.
Yeah, the 1.1 million households, that's just households. That equates to a lot more people, because some households have 2, 5, 6 people inside, so it's way more than 1.1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably at times 3, don't you think, is a good average? A customer is probably 3 people per customer.
Obviously, yeah.
That's probably about right.
yeah, we're talking millions of people.